Hey y'all! And welcome to the Sorry Not Sorry Generation podcast, where we bring you a not-so-healthy dose of humor and reality as we get our hands dirty with some serious nostalgia and question everything.
Let's dive in.
Hey y'all!
Hey y'all!
It's Misty.
It's Ani.
And today we are watching a Disney Channel classic.
We're going to Halloweentown!
Woo! We are watching the first Halloweentown movie, which, if you guys would like to have a little crisis, is from 1998. Yeah, that's great. But we are watching Halloweentown as a part of our wonderful spooky month, and I love this movie. I've seen it so many times. I really want to go to the town that looks like
Oregon?
this.
Yeah.
Yes, I really want to go to the town in Oregon that looks like this. On Halloween too. That has to be something that gets done. So
we can make it happen.
Yeah,
we'll St. Helens, I think.
Something like that, yeah. We'll just have to take a bunch of time off and go to like the Northwest. Go to Forks, go to Halloweentown.
Exactly.
like go to all that.
Yes, St. Helens. And they deck it out every year.
Yeah, I really want to see it. I really, really want to see it. I think that's really cool. But yeah, so we're going to watch a Disney Channel classic, which is probably something you guys are going to see a little more often with us, is watching a couple of the Disney Channel movie classics, because they're just so good. Like, they're just so good. Like, every movie listed below here of, like, other recommendations to watch, every one of them is freaking fantastic. Like, there's
out of all the Halloweentown movies, besides the first one, the second one is also really good. I don't quite care for Return and Halloweentown High.
That's true. I know I've seen Return to Halloweentown. I don't think I saw Halloweentown High. I think that might have been like post my era of watching Disney Channel.
Yeah, it's 2004.
Not really. 2004. One of them I haven't seen.
Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe it was
Halloweentown High isn't bad. It's the Return that it's not the same Marnie. So
maybe yeah. Return to Halloweentown is the one that I haven't seen.
Yeah. It's fine.
Because I've seen all the ones with the original
Marnie.
The original chicken. Twitches was really good too. The one with your mom's dating a vampire is really good too. And Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. That was actually surprisingly good. I don't think I remember Scream Team. Can of Worms, for that matter.
I don't remember Can of Worms at all.
Mm-hmm. But Phantom at the Megaplex was also really good.
I don't remember that one.
That's like the movie theater's haunted and like the movie's coming to life and all that. That one was really good. Don't Look Under the Bed. I think I saw once because it creeped me out.
Don't Look Under the Bed is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, I love him. Stepsister from Planet Weird. That one.
I don't think I remember that one. Rip Girls.
I didn't like Rip Girls. I didn't like Rip Girls.
I didn't mind it. Like, it depends on, like, I thought it was fine then. It wouldn't be a good movie now.
Yeah.
Johnny Tsunami, however, was great.
Johnny Tsunami is great.
Yeah, that's true. That was a really good movie. So we are going to be watching Halloweentown. We took a little bit of a detour in our conversation, but we are definitely going to watch Halloweentown now. Oh, us debating books. Like, I think it's hilarious just because we have such similar taste in books, but they never align. They're never exact. Like, you and Aaron read the same books and like the same books. I have, like, every time I read one and you read one too, like, we have such opposite opinions of these books.
You're like, I like it because of this, and I'm like, well, I didn't like that. I like it because of this.
Yeah, and like we just have the exact it's so bizarre that we like the same genres, a lot of the same tropes and everything like that, but we cannot completely agree on a series. And I think it's strange just because like you and Aaron agree on a lot of series, and like because you guys both like actors.
Well, Aaron and I are like soul sisters, so
yeah. But like I have very different, I guess, strange opinion. I do have weird opinions on some books though, so or maybe I just take some elements too seriously. Like I just can't let some shit go. I definitely, like, anybody who listens to my rants on ACOTAR just probably is thinking, girl, take a fucking chill pill. It's not that serious. Like, it's just not that serious. But I take it that seriously. I was telling Aaron the other day, like, because I was analyzing something, and like she asked my opinion on something, and then I gave a normal answer, and then like an hour later I went back and I gave her 3 more answers. And I'm just like, this is me over analyzing it because I thought about it. So
Yeah.
like if you want just a straight simple answer, just take my first thing that comes out of my mouth and then ignore everything else that comes out. So
Ignore all the other opinions that come after.
yeah, like because like then I'm just gonna start backing it up with evidence and then arguing it until I'm blue in the face and citing my sources. And just let's not do that. Like I'm a good fictional ranter. I was gonna say debater, but that's not true. I don't do well in that. I'm a good ranter. So if only I could take that passion and put it into my schoolwork, it would be better.
Nothing about your classes are passionate inducing.
That's true. That's very true. It is. It's very true. Okay, let's watch Halloweentown.
Bum bum bum. Oh, who else's favorite side character is Benny other than me?
Benny's pretty cool. I like Benny. Like when I was a kid, like I always wanted like these perfect looking pumpkins, like the ones they have in this movie. Like I always wanted really cool classic pumpkins, and it's just like, oh,
And we have Space Grandma. I love it.
Space Grandma.
Debbie Reynolds, because
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher is Space Mom. So, Space Grandma.
Out of curiosity, like the kids here aren't allowed to celebrate Halloween, and like we understand why, because like the mom's actually a witch and all that. But your parents let you celebrate Halloween?
Halloween was the one time that my mom would let me put makeup on. Like, she would put the makeup on my face.
Yeah.
We loved Halloween. Time
Well,
to
that's
dress
good.
up and get candy. Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandpa would always get a kick out of seeing me in my costumes. So
Yeah.
that was always
Aw.
a thing. Like, I was Jasmine one year. I was Ariel one year as a child. You
Aw.
know, I've probably been Mickey or like Minnie in a pumpkin. I don't know.
Aw. That's cute
We
though.
we enjoy Halloween.
Aw.
As I've gotten older and how Halloween has become my lifestyle, my parents have accepted that this is it. Like, it's Halloween year round.
They,
So
like they let you celebrate Halloween once and it was over.
Yeah. Now when I bring home stuff, like even if it's on Halloween, I'll bring home like I don't know, something that's like, you know, like a Madame Leota thing, and I'll be like, like my dad was like, "You're never gonna grow up." I'm like, "No,
It's like
no,
that sounds boring. Why would I want to
that's
grow
boring." And then my mom will laugh and be like, "Oh, my crazy daughter." I'm like, "Yes,
up?
yes."
I'm gonna take a side step into like Marnie just said, I'm 14. I'm practically an adult. And if that doesn't
No,
make
you're
you just
not.
cringe.
I mean, it's like Ariel, but Daddy, I love him. You've never met him. You've never spoken to him. You've never interacted. You are in love with a statue.
And he's older than you are. Like, you've never had a conversation. You don't speak the same language. You go up there, you're not going to speak at all. Like, and is he into fish? Like, that's the question. It's like, is he into a very specific type of furry? In like, it's not even a scaly because that's the reptiles. I don't even know what fish. What word is it for fish? But that you have to like. That's what Eric is.
Yeah, yeah. And then freaking nerd brother over here is like, can you not?
Mm-hmm. He just wants to read his physics textbook.
It's too late for my brother to have any kind of imagination, mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never liked this. The fact that because she left Halloweentown and didn't want to stay a witch or whatever, but she still has her powers.
Yeah.
So, why, what's the word I'm looking for? Why alienate your kids to be the weirdos of, like, the school or, like, the neighborhood?
Yeah.
They're just gonna get picked on. Like, why would you do that? Why would you hide? Like, I hate when people hide, like, their history. You know, like tell them, grandma. Yeah, like, tell them your history, and then let them decide if they want to go down that route.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, rebellion.
And like at the same time too, it's just going to make them more interested in it when you tell them they can't have it. So like let them interact with Halloween in a like supervised way.
Yeah.
In fact, like Mylan's parents didn't let them celebrate Halloween until her younger brothers were a little older, and then they could go to the church like they did like trunk or treat, where you trick or treat from the different cars that are there and stuff like that. That was the only thing they were allowed to do, because before that it was all like it's demonic and all that.
Yeah, like I had a friend, or I made a friend when I was in bumfuck New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she got pregnant at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Super Christian upbringing. Got pregnant at 19. This girl wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter growing up.
Well, you should have let her read, because then maybe she wouldn't go around having a bunch of sex.
I'm like, you let her have sex? Unprotected sex?
Mm-hmm.
But
she
you
can't
didn't
read
let
Harry Potter.
Witchcraft?
Yeah. It's like, Isn't it
I
funny?
want the grandma's cloak. I want it.
Yes. Oh my
It
god, I've
looks
always
so
wanted that
fucking
thing.
comfy.
Right? I love how just that her bag sitting on that bus, and like somebody laying on the floor somewhere just wiggling that thing. They put so much expression into a bag just by wiggling it, and it's just like, how do you? Is that just a weird human interpretation thing, or is it just somebody's really good at wiggling a bag?
And because grandma's going, come on. He's like, no. Like a little child, like, fine, I'll go without you, and he just follows.
Uh-huh. Also, if the mom didn't want them to have cookies, why did she just set them out?
Leave it out on the counter? Seriously.
Yeah, like, also, those are just Chips Ahoy's. That's a Chips Ahoy cookie. That is not something somebody made. That is a Chips Ahoy.
And the mom is aware that her youngest is like, her powers are starting to express themselves, and she's like, not again. Why don't you fucking tell her about it?
Yeah. And like the mom's way of hiding the cookie that's floating is to put it in her own mouth. It was already in your hand. Why didn't you just put your hand down? Like, I don't know about you, but the Chips Ahoy's I buy aren't that big. You could just put your hand down and like nobody would notice.
I just turn around and like throw it in the sink, like.
Yeah. Also, look at the scrunchies Marnie's wearing. These massive neon colored scrunchies. And it's just so high on her head. And I'm just, oof.
Yeah, how come, Mom, you don't tell your children why Grandma only shows up once a year?
And isn't it a little weird that Grandma only shows up on Halloween? And only
Just
for a couple of hours while it's dark?
And you can't go visit her? You have no idea where the hell she lives? Like,
is nobody ever asked, like, where does Grandma live? And then...
abroad.
How did she get there so that she can... Like, she takes a bus, and they know that. But, like, it's close enough that she can take a bus, but only for, like, 4 hours on Halloween? That's kind of weird. Does she spend half the year traveling home and half the year traveling to you? like
the Mary Poppins bag is like the best thing ever.
It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, look, Grandma's dressed like a witch for Halloween, and she's like, "What? Oh, this is like, oh, yeah, totally dressed for Halloween." And she's like, "This is what I wear every day."
like, and like, it's obvious that not all this stuff should fit in this bag, but like, it's that wonderful like 90s like don't question shit kind of mentality.
It's grandma. All grandmas are magical. It's fine.
That's true.
Look, it's a pentagram. This guy got bit by a werewolf, and this symbol was on his hand.
And like the grandmother knows exactly what she's talking about too.
I mean, grandma's here to start Marnie's training, and mom's like, no. How about you let your child decide?
And like, what happens if she doesn't train? Like, you can already see that the little girl's magic, acts up. What happens when Marnie's older?
No, that's the thing. If she doesn't start her training or like whatever by a certain time, she'll lose all her powers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is a thing in this. I was thinking more along like the Harry Potter lines where you become an obscurist and just become like a fucking walking bomb.
No, she'll just lose all her powers and she'll never be a witch. Mm-hmm. Like, see, Mom already went through her training, and then she was an adult and decided, I don't want this anymore, and then left.
Like, that's a huge choice to make for your child.
Yeah. Now, in the context of this movie,
yeah,
she's 14.
Yeah.
And she has the option of either being a witch or not being a witch. That's fine.
If she's old enough to make an informed, rational decision, especially one that's going to impact the rest of her life, and like,
but if she decides
it would
later
be different.
On,
if it would be different if it wasn't like she would lose the abilities. Like, because if it's just like, hey, you can start your training now, or like wait till you're 18 and like start your training then. But like if she doesn't do it now, she'll lose it forever. And like I think that's a little different because you have to be like, hey, you have to make this decision now.
Yeah.
Like whether you like it or not.
If like the mom not letting her even decide or know about it pisses me off because like you did it, you have your powers, and you decided like 10 years down the line, you know what? Not the life I want.
Yeah.
Cool. So you fucking left.
Yeah.
But you still have your powers.
Yeah.
You don't use them, but that's your decision. Like,
yeah.
Why are you going to take all the possibilities away from your 14-year-old kid?
Because, like, you can make the choice as an adult that you no longer want to use your powers. And that's an active choice you can make. But to make the decision for somebody else that they're just never going to get that opportunity. And
maybe
they're not going to have.
Years, Marnie doesn't want to be a witch anymore. And she just won't use her powers. Like, you don't know.
Yeah. Just like, but you have to, like, let them make that choice. It's different if they're, like, if they're 5 or something like that. But still, at the age of 14, you can have a rational conversation with her and be like, look, this is what's going to happen. Is a typical 14-year-old going to say, no, I don't want magical powers? No. But at the same time, too, you have to, like, understand that you're making a choice that's going to affect her for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Stupid idiot brother. Oh, you're far away, like from Cleveland?
Yeah.
The residents are a bit more exotic. Okay. Grandma's like, oh, we have dozens of banshees and zombies.
No, she's like, they're just practically like littering the streets. Like, ooh.
It's like, yeah, I'm surrounded by magical creatures, but some are bad, some are good, just like humans. Just depends on how they use their magic.
If I was given the opportunity to move to Halloweentown today, I'd leave.
I would go.
Goodbye. I don't imagine Halloweentown has a lot in the way of podcasts, so we could be the number 1 podcast in Halloweentown.
Pack up all our cats, like, let's go. Where's the bus stop?
The map that we see of, like, where listeners are and stuff like that, like, it doesn't have one for other worlds or other, like, dimensions and stuff like that. Where am I being listened to, like, in the world of Halloweentown? Like, are people in Halloweentown listening to us? Are people in Prithian listening to us? I was gonna say are the people in the world of the Fourth Wing listening to us, but I don't know the name of the world. I don't remember the name of the world.
If Prithian is listening to us, we're fucked.
Why are we
fucked? Because you don't like half the men. I want to fuck half the men. We have a problem.
Fuck. That's a good point. That's a real good point.
They don't want to let you in because you don't
Eris
like
would like me.
They don't want to let me in. Eris would like you. He'd like me because he's like, I want to fuck him too. I can't fuck the other ones because they're all taken.
The other ones seem like they might be douchebags anyway. But like, I meet his brothers, not like Cassian and shit like that. It depends on what part of the story you come into as well. Like, you could come in like pre-Nesta if you want Cassian. Like, he just has to meet you first. Like, fuck, you want to off Nesta, go for it. Like, shit, you just gotta do it when she's human.
No, Nesta and I have become best friends.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I want her to be my spirit animal. Like, I want this raging ball of death to be my spirit animal. I want to PPFFs with Nesta, that's fine. But, like, you just have to meet Cassian before he meets Nesta. And, like, preferably figure out how to become a Fae and meet him, like, 100+ years before, so you have a long, like, relationship involved before, like, Nesta ever walks around, so.
I'd go find Amryn. Be like, yo, change me right now. How do I do this? What do I need to do?
Yeah. See? I think that would make sense.
Like,
do that.
Okay, back to the movie. Grandma's been in here for, like, what, 3-4 hours and she's already leaving? Like, what the fuck kind of relationship is this? Like, you let your kids see their grandma for, like, 4 hours?
And like,
out of the year.
The grandmother can only be there for those couple of hours because she has to be able to get on and off the bus. Otherwise, she has to stay there for a year. And I'm like, wouldn't it be okay if maybe just you spent 1 year in the mortal human realm just to be with your grandkids? But then again, the mom would never let her live with them. But
yeah, mom would never let them. But also, grandma's got like responsibilities and shit.
Mm-hmm. And like, but she has to be there after dark, so it's in the fall. So let's assume it's like 6. She'll have to leave before midnight. So let's assume the bus is at like 11:30, almost midnight. That's maybe like 5 hours, 5.5 hours if you take away the time she has to walk from the bus stop or anything else. So, and I don't know, delays on the bus. There's other people on the bus, so like I don't know how many stops along she'd have to make. But so let's call it about 5 hours just to include all of that. You see your grandmother on Halloween for 5 hours and you've never raised questions about why you only see her for these couple of hours?
Like, sus.
And like, so much her sus. Grandmother just snaps her fingers and turns like cooked chicken into a real chicken. And you could never get away with that in today's television.
No. The vegans will get very upset. But then there's Marnie just going like, I just saw grandma turn fried chicken into a full chicken.
And then back into fried chicken. I don't know about you, but I think I would assume I hallucinated for that second. Like I would have just been like, huh?
No, I'd stare, I'd have the hint moment, and then I'd immediately just walk in and be like, what? How? Mm-hmm. Forget being sneaky, just no.
Yeah.
You tell me how now.
Yeah.
And now grandma's saying like, I need help, honey. My friends are disappearing and turning into horrible creatures.
And like at first the daughter is like concerned, and then she just tries to rationally dismiss it away, and it's just like, maybe you lived there. And she's like, and she tries to rationalize it with like, so people just move away. It's one town. Where are they going? Where are they moving to? Is there a Halloweentown? Is there a Halloweenville next door to Halloweentown? Like,
no, then something's wrong. And then when the mom says, I need your help, I need your power, because like the Cromwells are like the strongest bloodline of magic, of the witches. And she's like, I need more I need more of our bloodline to help. And she's like, nah.
She's like, nah, I'm good.
And grandma's like, well, I guess the Cromwell line is gonna end with you, because you're not letting your kids do it.
And then she turns them back into chickens, and they're in her refrigerator now as live chickens. So the mom either has to turn them back into fried chicken or have to explain why there's chickens.
Why there are, yeah. And now Marnie's telling her brother, it's like, oh my god, grandma's a witch and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm half asleep. Like, you have had too much candy.
Uh-huh. And he's like, I think it proves that insanity is hereditary.
Explain how grandma's bag is moving.
I like how the fact that the time it takes the grandmother to walk down to the bus stop, they can have all of these conversations and get dressed and go down there and sneak onto the bus, all in the time it takes the grandmother to walk from the house to the bus stop.
Right. You ever wondered why I have deja vu all the time?
I think that's just called deja vu.
Right. Now, I forgot his name. Kyle? Whatever the hell name is. The one, like, with a big nose. That's a douchebag.
Something like that, yeah.
I like his character growth a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And then, in the second one, I like him a lot.
Yeah, me too.
In the second one, right?
Yeah. The first and second one, I think, are the best, too. The other ones are okay, but, like, the first and second one are the best ones.
And, like, I love how, like, Marnie and Calabar's son reconnect, like, years later and actually get married.
Isn't that cute?
Like, I love them as a couple so much.
That's so cute.
I follow them on Instagram and TikTok and everything.
Aww. I love it when things like that happen. You know, like there were a couple in the movies or in the book, and then like they just become in real life, and it's just like, aw.
He's a real estate agent.
Oh. Just like, I wonder how often he gets asked if somebody can sell him a house in Halloweentown. Probably a lot.
It's like, I work in LA.
Like, it'd be really funny if they lived in like Salem. Or in the town that celebrates Halloweentown.
In St. Helens. No, they're in LA.
I like the fact that they sneak in from the back on an actual bus.
The alarm would go off like fucking crazy. Now, how do they not realize that Sophie has joined them?
I don't know. Like, it's really strange because, like, I'm not even sure Sophie would have been able to crawl up into the back of the bus by herself.
Oh, look, it's a Frankenstein monster. The Frankenstein monster is having a meltdown because, like, this child ran up to me and went, ah! Like,
it's just like, it's Halloween, my dude, and it's also a kid.
What do you expect?
I mean, like, if a kid runs up to me and goes, ugh, I'm just gonna kick it. Like, jeez.
Just gonna kick it, yeah.
Yeah. I like how it's daylight. It's daytime in Halloweentown right now. It's weird.
It's Halloween, day and night in Halloweentown. Like, I want to live there. There's pumpkins all the year. Like,
I'll take just living in the town that celebrates Halloweentown. Like, I mean, I'll do that.
Bruh, PSLs for the whole year.
Did you see? I think I sent the video to you, but they released Starbucks' recipe for pumpkin spice syrup.
I screenshotted it. I will make it.
I want to try it. I need to. One of us needs to try it. So we have that tea time coming up. So like, one of us needs to make it for that.
I'm gonna write it out so I have it. Let's be off. Take care. Ta-ta. It's like, who talks like that?
I want that pumpkin. I want it. I want that. I want a house with a giant ass yard just so in the front, where normal people put fountains, I want a giant pumpkin.
I do too. I also really want the $300 skeleton, like 12-foot skeleton. But I don't have $300 to put toward the skeleton.
Especially if the government's gonna keep fucking you over like this.
So annoyed.
You let me know if you need me to assassinate anybody. I'll do it for you.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
See, we would fit into the murderousness of Prithian at the very least.
Like, that we do.
Like, that just the full willingness to kill somebody.
It's like, oh, you need me to kill the King of Highburn?
Okay.
Not concerned.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, Sophie, how did you get here? It's like, I followed you. How? You were asleep when we left the house.
She's like, I was pretending. And like, now, how did you get onto the bus, though? Like, I get you following them to the bus stop, but how did you get onto the bus?
How do you know about the bad thing? It's like, I have ears. I can listen. Like, everyone just dismisses Sophie. Like,
It's like, I know she's young, but maybe you should listen to her.
Right? Sophie! My name!
Also, they're just literally taking candy from strangers. Well, Sophie's smart enough not to.
Right? Doesn't she, though?
Oh. No, she didn't take the lollipop. She said, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. Smart, Sophie. No, smart. Now, warlocks are... I know they're the male term for witches, but aren't witches and warlocks completely different in magic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, warlocks are more evil?
In D&D, they are. At the very least. Like, in D&D, warlocks are... Like, you have, like, evil patrons, and you get your magic from them. Like the other side of the coin from clerics.
Ah. Yeah, you come to a new town, a new world, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna have my friend Benny take you up to your grandma's place, and here comes a skeleton. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
And he's got a dead fish bone.
Yeah. That was his lunch.
Just over the river and through the woods. Ha ha!
I've also always really wanted that, whatever it is that Marnie's wearing, the thing with all of the scraps of fabric. I just think it looks
costume,
really,
yeah.
Yeah, I just think it just looks really cool.
I feel Sophie's pain because no one gets her name right, even though it's just a simple name.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
The guy is just like, how the fuck is this skeleton, like, functioning?
Stop trying to make things make sense.
Especially
you went to a different world.
Yeah.
Like, I've hung out a lot of graveyards.
Really makes you wonder what he does in his off time.
Grave digging? To have some conversations with his old buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had a nose job, so he's a cool guy now.
Oh. He's the Rachel Green of the Halloweentown.
He's the Rachel Green of Halloweentown.
That looks like a really nice view, but it goes to show you that Halloweentown has a world, like, beyond this town, and I want to know what's beyond it.
I am Marnie in the sense that they're going to try and open this gate, and she's going to be testing her powers.
Mm-hmm.
She overcomplicates it. And that is me. I overcomplicate things.
I mean, to be fair, either way, you and I, the first thing we would do would just look at it and go, Alohomora. Like, we're both aware we would just go, Alohomora. Like,
and then Sophie just goes in, she asked it to open or something?
I think so.
There you go.
She pushed. She just pushed. Okay, I wouldn't have thought of asking the lock to turn into a frog, though.
I mean,
instant witches.
You know that I would find. Yeah, you know that I would find a frog in Halloweentown and be like, mwah.
Yeah, no? Just okay. All of them, just like, just over and over. Every frog you find, go searching for them.
I love how the microwave buttons are bubble toilet trouble.
I've never had a microwave where I could hit multiple like setting buttons like that.
And neither have I. It's just one button.
How do you hear somebody listening? Like,
okay. The same way you know someone's coming. I don't know.
True. I want that giant cauldron. I want her house. Can I just have her house and all the property that it comes with it? You only get something like that by inheriting it.
I know. I want Grandma's dress. I want her cloak. I want her house. I want her cauldron.
I want her to be my grandmother. Like
that too. I am so tempted to buy a cauldron as like a pot.
That would be cool. That would be really, really cool.
Like, Mom's gonna be like, we didn't have enough. Like, no, Mother, we do not have a cauldron.
Like, you'd have to get like a cast iron one, I imagine. The thing is like, it would be so heavy. How would your stove, like the little burners hold it very well?
I'm checking Amazon right now if I can get a cauldron.
Can you fit a cauldron this size in your yard? Like, set it so that you could put like fire underneath it? Because that would be really cool too. I wouldn't know what the hell you'd use it for, but like, make the world's biggest batch of chili.
Or, I'm not a big chili person.
I'm picky about my chili, but I'll eat it.
Erin makes some damn good chili. She made it for
us. That's
true. Remember?
She did. She makes very good chili. So the grandma just casually like waves her hand over the cauldron, and then just like demonic forces just start showing up in it, and the kids are like scandalized.
Like
what's happening?
It's like, I know that the convenience of like instant brew has made life easier, but you'd think that with magic you'd stick to
all of the step-by-step stuff. Yeah,
and not instant. Like, that's just bound for mistakes. I also want that talisman.
Me too. I want her house. I want all of her cauldrons.
Are you gonna call on all the forces of darkness to get the thing going? No, like, this is gonna fill it up and say a spell.
Yeah. Also, there's no liquid in any of that.
I know.
She's pouring like dry ice, like smoke.
Yep. I noticed that too. I'm just like years ago, I'm like, that's not liquid.
I like how Marnie is just not impressed now. She's like, oh, well, you're just gonna fill it and say a spell. And the grandma's like, well, I have to say a spell.
It's just glitter.
It is. A lot of it, too.
But it always drives me, like, that doesn't drive me nuts, but, like, how did Sophie remember that spell? Like, that's not even English.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
then again, I guess because she's memory. But then again, she is younger, so she has more imagination to like remember gibberish.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because Marnie's mind is trying to make it into like words. It's like better march, better whatever. It's like, that's not what she said.
Yeah. It's like you're trying to apply like the logical part of your brain to it when Sophie, who's so young, just doesn't worry about that part.
Because why bother?
And like I, as a kid too, and like watching this, trying to memorize the words, and it never stays.
It never stays.
Like, I do always have that one spell stuck in my head though. Like, what is it? Benthima.
That's the one that it is. That's the one she just said.
Yeah, and like but it's never the correct words. And it's just like, because like the way they say it later in the movie is different than the way they just said it, and like I always try to like to remember what it is, and it just no. I might get the first like 2 or 3 words out, but fuck. We're back looking at the mother, and she ate so much of that candy, and now she's going back to look at her kids, and she realizes they're all gone. Like, one of them being gone is a worry, but now all 3 of them are gone. You know where they are, at least. I love that hat. I want to live in a town where I could just dress like it's Halloween just all the time.
Right? So I'm looking up information about that spell, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be horribly mangled and mispronounced Middle Welsh, taken from the oldest Welsh book which is still in existence, the Black Book of Carmarthen.
Okay.
It comes from, specifically, it comes from Engledion y Bedo, the verses of the graves, which is essentially a list of the graves of famous Welsh/Brittonic heroes, warriors, and kings.
So she's literally just listing dead people?
Their graves, yes. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
And into
So here
English,
she says they created their own world. So you can ideally assume that it's a whole like genuine world and not just one town. So maybe the mom was right and that there like her neighbors could move.
oh, Agatha is, or Agnes, whatever the fuck her name is, just she's an actual witch now.
I think they're turning into the stereotypes. And look, there's Merlin. He's right there.
The was it the werewolf hairdresser?
Yeah.
Always makes me laugh, and I would just be like, I would have to find another hairdresser. Yeah. Because I can't deal with the howling.
Yeah, that would get old quickly. Very quickly.
It's like, stop it. Got a Yeti in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Calabar.
He's like, I just want you to leave it alone. For the children, of course.
No. That just makes me more sus.
Yeah.
Just 2 days? 2 days is more than enough time to get your whatever in order.
So it's Betty March, Betty Guythur? I don't know how that works.
Betty Guythur.
Betty
March, Betty Guythur, Betty Gugaun Cledyfrut, anoeth. It's how I remember her saying it, like Betty March, Betty Guythur, Betty Gugaun.
Well, yeah, well, I guess it makes sense if I read the second half, like that's in modern Welsh and rather than the old Welsh. Betty March, Betty Guythur, Betty
Gugaun.
There's no A in that one.
I know, but she says, but the top one it has it because she says Betty Gugaun, Cledyfrut, anoeth. Wait, Cledyfrut, anoeth bid. In English, a grave for March, a grave for Guythur, a grave for Gugaun or Gugaun. Red sword, wonder shall be. Okay, so like I guess Marnie wasn't too off because she says better march, better get going.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. So,
Marnie, when did you learn Welsh?
Yeah, she just maybe it's a Cromwell thing. She just speaks old Welsh.
Marnie has some like spunk, man. Just goes up just goes up to this guy and was like, you know, I was having a good time until I smelled something stinky.
It's like your fucking face.
Yeah, and then he just makes an ass himself and falls into the brooms.
Mm-hmm.
And this zombie guy that's trying to sell all the brooms, like, bro, stop trying to yell this.
Also, like, none of those brooms would appeal to me. First of all, they're all just kitchen brooms painted a different color. Like, if I was going to have... And, like, that one has what looks like a toucan or something on the end of it. Like, if you're going to give me a witch's broom, I want, like, what looks like a genuine witch's broom.
Yes. Yes.
Something that looks spooky, you know? Not something that looks like it's got a fucking toucan on the end of it.
I want one that flies.
Okay, that's fair. Like, I don't really care what it looks like if it flies. That's valid.
It can look like a fucking toucan. I don't care as long as it flies.
It could be an actual just toucan transformed into a broom. If it flies, I don't care. That is such the worst way for magic to work. You just want it and it happens. That is society based on not understanding what self-control is.
I want a 20-inch pizza. Boom, it's here.
Just like, you're just holding like this stick and you're just like, I really, really want you to be a pizza. What happens when you stop wanting it? Does it and like while you're eating it, does it just transform back into a stick?
Just all disappears.
Also, how did the mother get there? The bus was over.
Yeah, the bus only travels. Like, excuse me, how dare you come at your mother like that? Oh yeah, they hypnotized you, the little brother.
Oh yeah.
We are not going home. Marnie's like, since you are not going to be helping her, I will.
It's just like, you're not going to help her, then I'll be the Cromwell witch that does, even though I don't know jack shit about magic. I learned about it about 5 hours ago, but I was on a broom, and I talked to a skeleton. That makes me an expert.
It's her birthright. You cannot take it away. Like, you're in Halloweentown. How the fuck are you gonna ground her? Like, she can just not get on the bus. Like,
yeah, like she could just not do it.
Like,
also,
even the brother's like upset.
Like, your mother has genuinely come to you asking you for help with something too, and like, because like that's what the grandmother did. She came to her daughter asking for help, and like you just said no, just flat
Fuck
out
you
no.
and your problems.
Yeah. And there is no way, like, if this happened, that Marnie wouldn't resent her mother for the rest of her life. Because then every year when her grandmother comes, like every year when her grandmother comes to visit and she sees all of these things that her grandmother can do, and she's just going to know with absolute certainty that she'll never be able to get to do any of them. And that's the next level amount of anger. That's the kind of anger you don't come back from.
By the way, I love these guys, the two-headed bus.
Oh yeah, the bus ticket guys, yeah.
I love them. Just, ow! What bus? Bus?
And Marnie's like, and I'm not speaking to you.
I'm never gonna go to school, and I'm gonna move. And the mom's just like, not now.
And it's just like, you're saying all this, which is speaking to me,
right?
I do like Marnie's
Are you gonna just forget about us too?
It's like, are we just going to like piss you off one day and you decide you don't want anything to do with us too, and you're just gonna be like, oh, they used to be my kids, but they're not anymore.
The bus isn't going anywhere right now, so let's go back to Grandma's. Mom's like, let's go to the mayor, not knowing who the mayor is. It's your old boyfriend.
Also, but like, in what universe is your first thought? It's like, I'm inconvenienced with travel, so let's go fucking talk to the highest authority in this entire town. And not just be like turning around and asking, is like, is there another way to get to the mortal world? Or even she should just know that. Like, how to get there. She lived there. She grew up there. She should just know how to get back.
You think. Can I have one of those?
Sure.
Little
I don't know what it is, but...
It's a gremlin bat. That's what I'm calling it. It just shows up out of its little coffin and goes, someone's here to see ya!
That'd be the best way to have a receptionist. And he's just looking at her. The mayor's just looking at her like, oh, this is not what I expected. And she's instantly a teenager again. She's just like, she's a giggling teenager.
Yeah.
He hands her a dead rose.
And he grows his back warlock to life. Powers, it comes to life. It's like,
it really makes you wonder what magic. It really makes you wonder what the implications of that are. You always let the magic do the talking. And it's just like, what kind of magic do you experience, girl? Like, what did you guys have going on? What kind of magic did you guys experience?
Clearly he used his magic to enhance her pleasure.
I think I read that book somewhere.
Yeah. Totally. Made his dick super big. I don't know. Made it magical so it would actually do something inside her. Who knows?
This woman is literally a human pincushion.
I mean, it would be useful, like, if that was me. That's cool, because like I just put all my notes on me, and also,
you can just stab somebody willy-nilly with a needle at any given point.
Yeah, but the number of things you'd bump into.
Well, that too, and like you go through the trouble of writing everything out, and then you stick it on this gigantic needle, which now has a giant hole in the middle of your note, which would be really annoying. But also, what if you like go to put the needle back in place and you just accidentally just stab yourself in the leg? Or like in a vital part?
Organ, like shit, that was my spleen.
Help. It's like, I think I needed that.
Fucking Luke. His name's Luke, not Kyle. I don't know why I don't like Kyle's, apparently. Luke, being
like, how often does he harass her that she's just like, I'm not in the mood?
Right, she's like, not now, Luke.
Are you stalking this grandmother? And it's like, I
know
you have Merlin's talisman.
Luke is in cahoots with the big bad guy because he's got no self-esteem, clearly. That's true. He's going to Grandma and blabbing about it because clearly he doesn't like what the big bad guy is doing.
And I think it's a combination of like he's scared because he's in over his head, so he's talking to the only possible person who could defeat what's happening, and maybe also just like bragging that he's working with a big bad evil because somebody thinks he's important.
Has to. Just because Grandma said you are one doesn't mean you are one. It's in your fucking blood.
It's just like, you know she's a witch.
Your mom's a witch. You're a witch. Your daughter's a witch. Like,
you're trying to gaslight her into thinking she doesn't have the abilities to be a witch.
Like, it's not fair. You can't hide what they are.
And also, like, if it's prominent enough that Marnie is noticed already, then it tells me you weren't doing a very good job of hiding it.
Also, who's their dad?
There was a picture of him at one point, but he's died, I guess, so.
Oh, the wiener dude.
It's like, Grandma's going somewhere with the wiener dude.
No, Marnie's not going to get back there. Marnie is off doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm. I miss the time in movies where everybody didn't have to look like they were about to walk in a runway. They could just be like looking like they're normal people. Like the mom's hair isn't perfect, you know, it's just thrown up and all that. And like now everybody has to look like they're ready to walk a runway before they can get into any scene.
It's like, no, I want to see the disheveledness when someone is clearly disheveled.
I like how she picks up this candle thing and it's just like, you don't have like a light spell for a torch, and like that one little bitty candle is not gonna help you do shit.
Everyone's in this movie theater with a swirling screen, and it's just they're in cobwebs, they're frozen. Just there's your friend. But notice it's a real flame.
Mm-hmm.
Because true. I can see the smoke.
Yeah,
and it goes out.
But it's not a real candle by the looks of it, though.
The caricature that is this big bad guy is hilarious.
I like how he's like, welcome to my museum. It's like, you could have made so many theater puns because you're in a theater and you choose to say, welcome to my museum.
It's like, okay. I know you have Merlin's talisman. Oh, okay.
She's like, I have that talisman and I'm going to use it to kick your ass.
He's like, no, you're not! Shut up, Luke.
She doesn't actually seem all that concerned, to be fair.
No. Shut up, Luke! Even the bad guy's like, shut up.
My monologue does not need commentary, thank you.
He's got a good finger waggle, though.
He does. It is a requirement, I think, of all big bad evils. You have to have that right finger waggle.
Now, where do they go if they fall into that abyss?
I don't know, but I was going to say, like, these people were originally just frozen in time, and I'm pretty sure that dude just died, so...
Just disappeared into the swirling abyss.
What is this teenager going to do? He's like, get them!
But at the same time, he's just like, you said she wouldn't be hurt!
She just covers him in daisies.
Even she says, like, I said power, it's not flowers.
Yeah. It's like, magic can mishear you? That's worrying.
Yeah, I'm just like, I have to enunciate now?
Yeah.
Oh, mom got hit. Marnie, what do you care? You didn't want to talk to your mom anymore anyways.
Yeah, it's like, you didn't like her anyway.
Like, Grandma dodged 5 of these.
Uh-huh.
And then just
watches the last one just come right to her face.
Like, you'll be alright.
You gotta understand, like, she's pretty powerful. That freezing spell takes a minute to affect her when it got everybody else instantly.
Can't we just find Luke and punch him in the face?
Honestly.
Like, you can see that Luke was like, no one was supposed to get hurt.
Yeah.
And yet, all these other people have been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I want mommy and grandma. Yeah, I do too. No, you're not. All 3 of you are gonna get them back. Excuse me.
And, like, I've never really noticed before, but now it strikes me as weird. She's like, your big sister is gonna get her back. I don't think siblings actually call each other big sister and little sister and all of that. Like, I've seen it as a huge criticism on, like, Tumblr of writers who, like, when the writers have the siblings in the books, like, refer to themselves like, hey, little sis, hey, big bro, and, like, all that. And people are like, yeah, clearly this person doesn't have siblings. And I'm just like, yeah. Like, I can't vouch one way or the other, so I don't know. But, like, it's never struck me as strange until now.
Right? It's like, that just sounds weird.
Vampire fair instead of Vanity Fair. I want to live here.
There's a mummy getting her nails done by a fairy. This fucking werewolf.
Oh, honestly.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Start by conquering bad hair.
To be fair, I don't look at him and think werewolf. I think cat. Like, he looks more cat-like to me in some ways.
It's true. And then he starts to howl, and you're like, oh, okay.
I don't know if he would, like, if I hadn't seen previews for the Cats, the movie, because this is just kind of what that reminds me of. But this guy's makeup is better.
Yeah. But I love how, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, Marnie, she's so, like, on top of shit. Like, she knows what she needs to do, and she, like, they need the hair of the werewolf, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hi, yeah, I just need a job, blah blah blah." And she's like telling her, like, "Go do it." Like,
just like
and
then she accidentally turns on a flamethrower.
Like, I couldn't be that on top of my shit in a crisis. Yeah. No.
I'll deal with that part. You deal with shaving the werewolf. How's that? You just sneak around and shave the werewolf.
Yeah, baby.
Like, they shaved the back of his head, and he's looking at the mirror straight on, and it's just like, you wouldn't know what you look like.
This would be a good look for me. It's like, and the leopard print. Yeah. Stir the cauldron. This old fucking dog. Just like, I can't.
I like how, for the most part, the makeup and like the special like effects stuff is only on the face. They put it almost on nobody's body. It's just the face. Everybody else looks normal from the neck down. Like, we saw in one of the earlier scenes, there was people walking around with pumpkin heads, like, as their heads, but the rest of their body's totally normal. Just completely normal.
This guy's in a complete suit, the fish guy.
I mean, that's true. Arms. That's very true.
No death guard on duty. They're dead. Why would they worry about fitness? Facts.
I mean, that's like, once I'm dead, I do not want to have to worry about things like fitness.
A ghost in a sweatbox. That's just
I can
distract him while I get the sweat.
I've never seen like an actual sweat box before, but I can guarantee you, if I did, I would never, ever, 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 ever touch it, because ew. Sitting in a box, its little purpose is to have a bunch of people just sweat in it. Also, why are the controls for the sweat box not attached to the sweat box?
Supposed to have an attendant, I guess. Because he yells out, "Attendant!" What was it? Look, of course, Sophie just going, and he's like, "Yeah, that's so cool, kid."
Like, Sophie immediately, like, Dylan, yeah, I think that's his name. Dylan just tries to like occupy him with facts. So Sophie goes straight for the racism. She just immediately is imitating. I'm like, oh, okay, that could be really construed wrongly.
Hades was nothing compared to this. Like, you were in Hades.
Also, you need more than one drop, because that drop's not going to come out of that bottle. You need several drops. Yeah. Or like, even as you pour it out, it's just going to stick to the side and just not be enough to run out. Also, okay, I would get in the sweat box if losing weight was that fast.
Right.
Like, you just turn it up a little and you're good to go.
The honker on this dentist is ridiculous.
Imagine having like allergies with that. I like how they just happen to find people who are exactly who they need, getting exactly what they need done. Like, right? It just happens to be a ghost in a sweat box and a vampire who's getting a tooth taken.
It just happens to be, right? Can you see the black tooth that's called, the black?
It was literally what I was looking at. Like, Gloria was just on point there.
What happens now? Like, when she goes to bite somebody, is it just the one side?
Maybe it'll grow back.
Benny, you're being creepy. We're done now. Bye.
Just like, yeah. And I'll give her credit. She lies on the fly very well.
Yeah, that's where you come in, because I can't. No. It's like, you are forcing them to get into the car.
And who told you their mom was here?
Sus, right? And then now he's assaulting your brother, like.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, there isn't really anything keeping his bones together, so you'd like to think you could break them off pretty easily.
Sophie's smart. She's like, dog, go get the bones. Not that dog!
Wouldn't it be funny, like, you're a skeleton person, one of your very real issues is just random dogs? It's like, oh, well, yeah, my uncle, Frodo, he lost a leg in, like, an accident? No, just a chihuahua.
Chihuahua got hungry, saw the bones, said, chow time.
Like, I'd like to know how she just knows the whole recipe, too.
Isn't it, like, written out?
I hope so. But she remembered it without going all the way back to find where it was written, so.
That's fair. No, she knows that it's Old Welsh. How does she know that?
She must do more reading on witchcraft than I thought.
It's Old English or Welsh. How do you know? Betty March, Betty Guythur?
Betty March, Betty Guythur, Betty Gugaun is all that's been.
Better get going before there's no more beds. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you write it down? Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. It's the first thing I thought of. Let me just write this down in a language I don't understand.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dylan. And then think of that. It sounded pretty, so I made up a song.
That's such a kid thing to do,
to be
isn't
a
it?
child! To be a child.
Sophie's just 100% down with helping. It's just like, yeah, you're wondering why it doesn't work. You didn't say it together. And, like, you're definitely just not paying attention.
Yes, spells are simple. It's the intention.
Mm-hmm. It worked.
What was it? Cledyfrut.
I like the fact that she makes sure to share like the success with her sister. Because first she says I did it, and then she makes a point to say that they did it.
We did it. Yeah.
I think it's important like that she brings like the cloak, but I would have used it to hide the talisman.
Oh yeah. Right? It's like, no, nothing to see here. It's the bad thing.
Yeah, now that you have the talisman, what do you do with it? That was kind of like something they left out.
Like, clearly waving it in front of grandma and mom is not doing it.
Right.
We have to install it. Like a hardware? Software?
Yeah, it's just like, how long does that take to upload?
Real smart for these kids.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Like, Halloweentown is what, like, she said, like, what? It's an imitation of, like...
Yeah, it's like the mortal world, like Halloween traditions are an imitation of what Halloweentown does, yeah.
So what do you do when it's dark out?
Like, where do you put that candle? Yeah. And, like, she puts the hood up and everything, and it's super creepy. It would have taken 2 seconds to run across that courtyard and then just install it. But she decided to get creepy about it instead.
Luke's like, you can't go there! And she's like, and I should trust you, why?
It's just like, you're the reason my mother and my grandmother have been frozen in time, so...
I mean, isn't this like a enemies to lovers type thing happening anyways?
I mean, that's valid.
Then again, I think they're like platonic friends.
Yeah, I don't think these guys don't end up together, right?
I don't think
It'd be hard to be like, hey, you want to go on a date after like I got your grandmother and your mother like frozen in time and almost destroyed by a big bad evil guy.
Right?
I'm just like,
but he does help her in the second one with the gray spell.
That's true.
And I think he gets jealous, right? When she starts like, doesn't she start like liking Calabar's son?
Yeah.
I guess he had a good reason to not like him because they got married in real life.
I mean, that's true.
Didn't
one
they say
those guys is dressed like a Confederate soldier or a Union soldier? I can't quite tell, but
well, now I have a question about how things work. Cause like he's out in the daylight. When they were in the movie theater, she said it doesn't like light. How's he outside?
Maybe he hadn't absorbed the grandmother and the mother's like strength from them yet at that moment, and then like he's had the time to do that, and that's why he can be outside. But it also gets cloudier too.
Oh yeah, he brought the clouds over.
Yeah.
Yes, Dylan, because that's the important thing. I can't believe Mom dated that guy.
I mean, to be fair, how many of your exes, if they turned out to be a big bad evil dude like that, you'd be like, yeah, no, that tracks.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We must find the one who would stop us. What? You thought you could hide from me? No, but I can outwit you.
He's just like, stop. Hello? Are you listening to me? Hello?
No, we're not listening to you. Fuck off.
Why would anyone stop?
Oh, and now Luke is gonna have his nose job undone.
And to be fair, good to Luke, like, he withstood 4 of those blasts before it took him down.
It took me years to realize what the hell he said. He just says, fooled ya, and I thought he said some kind of, like, spell. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Marnie got hit twice.
Yep.
It's that Cromwell magic. Come on, Marnie.
Come on. Both your mom and your grandmother can do this.
But Dylan's like, oh no, it's over, we can't do that. And Sophie's like, shut up.
Okay, that one back there is dressed like a Power Ranger. See, like, they can't tell me that guy doesn't look like he's dressed like he belongs to the Power Ranger series. The dude with the green face.
Marnie's still awake.
Just like, you just have to want it.
I want it to hit right.
It's like, I want it to fall directly how it needs to be to activate.
There you go. Merlin's wand. Merlin's magic. Look how this corpse sprite is like, where am I?
It's just like, why is there like a veil of cobwebs on my face?
And now their mom is like, oh, mother, are you okay? And now you care?
It's like, oh, suddenly this is important. Oh. Now, would you have left it in there or would you have taken it with you?
I would have left it in there, but I wouldn't have strayed far from it.
Agreed.
Because Calabar's still there. Like, yeah. I wanted to work its magic to the fullest.
But, like it's also an ancient and rare artifact that it's super magical and you don't really want to leave in the hands of anybody who's just going to reach their hand in there.
Exactly. So, like, once I know that Calabar is done for, I go back and take it.
Yeah.
Like, it did its job, now it's mine again.
I agree completely.
You could have had me. Oh, the egotism on this one. You could
have had me. Oh, God.
I didn't want you. Like,
dude, we haven't been together in a long time. You've been holding on to this whole time because,
like, I have children from another man.
I've been married, living in another world, and had 3 kids, my dude.
Clearly, I didn't want you.
Like, at minimum, she's been gone for 14 years because that's how old Marnie is. But, like you have to assume it's longer than that. You've been holding this torch for, 16 plus years, my dude.
I love how Grandma just pulls out some kind of, tchotchke, starts shaking it.
Uh-huh. She's like, this is why you shouldn't, stray from the ancient magic relic.
Then again, he did just pull it out of there.
True.
With magic. He's just like, there's static coming out of me.
He's like, oh no, don't do this to me, universe. Like, no, I am a person of physics.
Like, I am the sane one. I'm not the magical one.
The mom's looking at her daughter like, the fuck are you saying?
It's like, you know he's a bad guy. Don't antagonize him. Like, what have you been doing this entire time?
In the concept of a Disney movie, it's fine, but in reality, if your child started mouthing off to a potential terrorist, I'm not sure how well I'd take it. And now they're using the magic of humming.
I mean, Marnie and Sophie don't know what spells to use.
True.
And she's like, it's not working. Dylan.
She turns to Dylan like it's Dylan's fault that they're not doing this. It's like, blame Dylan, damn it.
And now it starts to work, because you need all the Cromwells.
Maybe Dylan's the most powerful, shit. Maybe when he believes something, he just believes it with such intensity that it's just, maybe he's the reason, they win.
And Calabar is Krispy Kremed.
I think it's funny, from that angle, you can tell the guy who plays Calabar has a cavity.
You should probably go see that dentist.
Yeah. Also, what are they going to do with the fact that several of those people that were gathered at Town Hall were very interested in what Calabar had to say? They were nodding and being like, yeah. Just but no. He got, absorbed real fast, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, yay, hooray for them. We were just pretending. Yeah, no. I wasn't interested in rebellion.
We were under his spell. We didn't know.
It's I wasn't interested in a war between worlds at all.
You're everything I ever hoped for in a daughter. You can learn magic now.
It's just mostly because I don't think I can take it from you now. Because you haven't.
Yeah, static electricity. Okay, Dylan.
The Aurora Borealis in his hands?
Yeah! That makes sense, right?
I'm afraid I'd go back to Luke and be like, hey, I get that you think you're hideous, but I need that cloak back. It's not mine. Thanks. It looks like a hobbit.
With a really big nose.
Uh-huh. Is that a cookie?
It's a cookie.
Can you dip it in some milk and snack on it? Doesn't this guy look like several years older than Marnie? I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't look 14. He looks like he's 16 plus.
Oh, I was gonna say he looks like he's 70.
Well, okay. Well, that's fair. I meant when he was more human looking. But yeah, here he looks like he's about 70 something.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably about the same age. Between 4. Shut up.
I like how they're like, Marnie, we have to go, and Luke, you need to get to work. Let's go. We got a job for you, man.
Right.
Luke, this is your community service. It starts right now. I would not leave. The only thing that would make me go back is to go get my cats and my dog.
Yeah. I just one-way ticket to Halloweentown. All right, let's take my pets. Let's go. And now she's like, okay, you're gonna come live with us now so Marnie can train. It's like,
why wouldn't you do it the other way around?
Yeah, why won't you... Logic! Why won't you let Marnie stay in the magical world to learn the magic? Instead of, like...
have everybody move there.
Like, also, if you do all the training in the mortal world, someone's gonna notice something's funky.
Yeah. I'm just like, we haven't had witch burnings in quite a while, but... and we're going to practice with the broom in the mortal world.
Seriously.
Also, if, like, the grandmother has to be back, like, they can only travel Halloween night. First of all, she was in their world, in their like in the mortal world, for several hours and had to be back before like the last bus was running. But the last bus is still running, and they've been here for several more hours. But also, the grandmother didn't pack; she just left her house.
That's true. I mean, I guess because
Mary Poppins bag of endlessness.
Well, no. I mean, Luke is the bus driver. You can just be like, I'm taking back.
But I would just be like, no. I want to live here. Do you see the size of your house? It's just like, if I live here, I can inherit this house, this paid-for house from you? Sure. Clearly my priorities have
changed. A magical house is paid for?
Yeah. It's like, no, a paid-for house, that's magical.
Yeah. Fully paid for house.
Oh yeah, that's a magical experience right then and there. The music in this movie is always really good too. Oh, I love this movie. It was a good choice.
Me too. Yes.
This was definitely one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time. I'm really glad we got to watch it this year. And there's literally just not enough time to watch all of the Halloween movies that we want to watch, or all of the Disney Channel movies we'd like to rewatch. We could pretty much watch a Disney Channel movie every week for like a whole year and not hit all of them, but I'm glad this is one of the ones we watched.
Yeah. Okay, Dancing Mickey.
That old Disney Channel logo. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Halloweentown with us. It's really, really, really fun and really good, and as you guys enjoy the rest of Spooky Month, and I hope in anything that we've had come out for Spooky Month already, you guys can come check us out on Instagram at Sorry Not Sorry Generation, and you can find our link tree and everything to our website and stuff like that there. And feel free to pop over and say hello.
Bye. Tune in next week for more fuckery because we have some serious questions and concerns.